The Super Eagles of Nigeria are in the semi-finals of the African Cup of Nations 2025, and I have been impressed. Really proud of what not just the head coach Eric has done and even his technical staff, but the players have been impressive. You can tell that they've given everything that you would expect players who decide to show out for their national team would give, and they've done it and done it excellently well. Now, this game against Morocco that will be happening on Wednesday is going to be a final before a final. And I say this because Morocco are the host nation, and it's going to be, I won't say almost the world, I would say the nation of Morocco would literally want to stamp down their presence in that stadium come tomorrow. It is not going to be an easy match, whichever way you choose to see it. Now, don't forget that Nigeria getting to this semi-final, they had to beat one of the best teams in the tournament so far, and that was Algeria. And they did it in an impressive manner, in an exceptional manner. And really, if someone had told me that they were going to play with that much class, with that much swagger, with that much fluidity, I would have said no. And this is not because they've not been playing well. Leading up to that game against Algeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria had been one of the best teams out there, winning all three of their group games, winning the round of 16, beating Mozambique 4-0, and then going on to beat Algeria. That was a statement win. That was a win that was telling the other teams that we are not just here to count record. We are not just here to sign and say, yes, we came here. We are here to win the title. Now, don't forget that the Super Eagles of Nigeria are 3-time champions of the African Cup of Nations. The last time they won it, obviously, was in 2013. And you would think that it's about time for the Super Eagles to win it again. Yeah, it's about time. However, the fact that they are facing the host nation. Now, don't forget that this is not the first time or the second time or even the third time that Nigeria will be facing the host nation, either in the semi-final or the final. Now, the last time, the very recent time that the Super Eagles faced the host nation was in the final of the last edition, the 2023 edition, which was in Ivory Coast. Unluckily for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they lost that game, and it was really painful. But I think that leading up to that game, it was just they put in really good performances, even though it wasn't as free-flowing, possession style, attacking-minded football like they are playing now. It was more like a defensive style of play and then break them on the counter-attack, which really is not an exciting style of football. But looking at the fact that we've beaten, a lot of people said, oh, the teams that the Super Eagles played in the group stage, they are not quality teams like that. Uganda, Tanzania, Tunisia were, I think, one of maybe the quality teams amongst the other 3 teams. But yes, we still somehow beat Tunisia, and it was good. And then obviously people then said, oh, Mozambique, they're still not a quality team, so yes, maybe the win was expected. The win against Algeria wasn't expected, and probably this is because Nigeria played so good that it made Algeria look really bad. Now, if someone had told me that Algeria would have recorded no shot on target in the whole of the 96 minutes that the Super Eagles played them, I would have laughed. I would have really laughed. Because don't forget that Algeria were the second team literally behind the Super Eagles of Nigeria that has scored the highest number of goals, which is about 8, behind Nigeria, who has scored 12. So if someone had said that Algeria will not have a shot on target in that game, that is hard to believe. Practically hard to believe. But the Super Eagles did it. And on top of that, they did not concede. Now, don't forget that the fact that they've not conceded is back to back. Because the game against Mozambique was 4-0. They didn't concede any goal. And then the game against Algeria, surprisingly, they also did not concede. It's a huge surprise. A huge, huge surprise. But then again, I think that is what you expect from a team that is more attacking minded, more looking to break play from the midfield. What they practically do is they don't even allow you to move away from their midfield. They don't even allow you to keep the ball from the midfield. And that is an excellent job of what the coach has done so far. Honestly. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh yes, should they give Eric Shell a new contract? I would say they should hold on till when the tournament is done. Till, even if we don't win it, even if we don't win the AFCON, he deserves a new contract. No question about that. No doubt about it. No iota of questioning it. No, he deserves a new contract, and probably a 4-year contract, because I think he's the one person that will get us to the World Cup come 2030. Yeah, I think he's the one. So definitely he should be given a contract. But I don't want that to be the topic right now, because they are still in a tournament that there's still a lot of chances that they might not win it. Now, I'm not saying that should affect the fact that he's going to get a contract. No. But I'm just saying that you definitely want the mind of the coach to be fully concentrated on the game at hand, which is facing the host nation, Morocco. Now, I've had the opportunity to watch about 1, 2, or about 3 games of Morocco. Most recently, their last game that they played against, I think it was Cameroon. And Morocco, I wouldn't say they played the most impressive football. I think somehow they just understood that they had to break Cameroon on counter-attack. And they took advantage of that. They did. They took advantage of the fact that they knew that Cameroon was going to want to be on, have the ball in their possession most of the time. And so what they had to do was defend and then break Cameroon on counter-attack. It was ridiculous. Really, really ridiculous, because I expected that Cameroon would have done better with their defense. Yes, I get that. Maybe the 2 goals that they scored would have been goals that maybe they didn't expect, but that is what they should have seen, because Cameroon had more possession in that game against Morocco. They had more chances, more shots on target, more possession of the ball. Morocco's goalkeeper had more saves. So really, it was just a question of Morocco or Cameroon, on the other hand, now not taking their chances, not being clinical, not finishing off, the attacks that they started, the counter attacks that they had. They weren't finishing off, and so that gave Morocco the chance to counter attack them and then score, goals. Now, when we now look at the formation that you would expect Eric Shell to start, unfortunately for the Super Eagles, indeed he will not be playing in this match because he is suspended due to accumulation of yellow cards, picking up 2 yellow cards in the last 2 games, the one obviously against Mozambique, and which I honestly think was really silly, but the one against Algeria, I think it was just something that he had to do. Unfortunately, he is suspended, right? Now, let's move past that. What are the options we have, right? Who is the other person that we think we can slot in that can take that job and do it well? Now, I would definitely expect that the coach should make Osimhen the captain, because that keeps him a bit calm. It really does, because against this Morocco team, you have to be really, really careful, because the officials that they've named now are referee from South Africa, referee from, I think, Ghana. Yeah, it's looking like there's a setup somewhere, especially against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but it is definitely looking like it's going to be working in favor of the host nation. But the truth is, if the coach, Eric Schell, makes the proper starting lineup, right, Morocco will not even have a chance, because as I said, they've not really played good football. They've just really taken advantage of the fact that their opponents, were slow when they were supposed to be concentrated and breaking play, especially in the midfield. Practically, that is what Morocco has done so far in this tournament. That's what they've done. That is what they've relied on. So maybe the fact that we have a very, very good defense right now, we are able to hold, their main players. Now, let's look at the formation, right? Let's look at the players that Eric Schell will probably be starting, because as I said earlier, Ndidi will probably not be starting up in that game. There's a chance he will not be playing because of the yellow card he has picked up. So I do expect the defense to be the same. Stanley Wabali, obviously, in between the sticks, the goalkeeper, Calvin Bassey, Semi Ajayi, Oyemachi, and Bright Osai Samuel. Definitely, I expect that for defensive wall. And then in the midfield, definitely Iwobi, who has been so good, so good so far in this tournament. Definitely Onyeka should be there. Now the question is, who is going to replace Ndidi that is out due to suspension? That is what I am now looking to see. Looking to see who the coach is going to start off. That is definitely what I'm looking out for. And then I expect the trio of I do believe that well, let's see what it does, because now I am curious to see what it does. Because don't forget that in the group stage, the first 2 games in the group stages, we didn't have 3 midfield. We had 2. We just had Ndidi and Iwobi. And he had to now play, what's his name? 4 players up front. So it was, I think it was Ademola Lookman, Osimhen, and Akwa Adams, and Chukwueze. So I don't know if he wants to do the same thing, maybe just trusting that Iwobi and Onyeka can get the job done, because I know that definitely he would expect Onyeka to play that defensive midfielder and then support the back 4. But I am really interested to see how it does with the formation. Now, regardless of whatever formation that Eric Schell decides to put out, right, they should put into consideration the fact that this Moroccan side will definitely have Ayoub El Kabi, who has been really, really good for Morocco. There would Brahim Diaz, who is the highest goal scorer right now in the tournament. He has been playing so well. He has won, I think, 3 man of the match so far in the tournament. As I said, is the highest goal scorer with 5 goals in all the 5 games that they've played so far. They have to be really, really careful. They have to be able to manage Brahim Diaz, because he's really clinical. You don't even have to give him full chance. Probably just have a chance and that is all that he needs. That is all he needs, and yes, the goal comes in. And as I said, obviously another person is El Kabi, who I think has also been good, although he has not scored a lot of goals in the tournament, but he has been really, really clinical for this Moroccan side. And then obviously you're looking at some of their other players, Saibari, who has also scored a goal. We have Ashraf Hakimi, who is obviously currently the 2025 African Player of the Year. He has also been impressive since he started. I think he didn't play in their group games, but he did come in their round of 16 and the quarterfinal game, where he has done so well. He has really done so well. And don't forget, he even assisted the goal that Brahim Diaz scored in their last game against Cameroon. So he is really good, and obviously he's going to be coming in as the captain. They trust him, and we have to look out for that, because he's one threat that is really so good going forward as a defender. He's a winger, so definitely they have to look out for him. They really have to look out for him. And maybe if we are more on the attack minded, it will be difficult for him to, get the ball. So they have to be really careful and watch out for him. And then Bono, who is their goalkeeper, has been exceptional. Is right now, I think, he's top of the goalkeepers clean sheet. He has kept, I think, about 3 clean sheets so far for Morocco, which obviously puts him in line for the Golden Glove. So definitely I expect him to want to keep that record going, but definitely I don't think that is possible when you have Victor Osimhen, Akwa Adams and Ademola Lookman, who have been threatening, who have been really good up front, who right now a lot of defense are finding it difficult to even manage to hold one or the other person. So I don't see him keeping a clean sheet in this game. I don't see it, but I also don't think that the Super Eagles are going to keep a clean sheet, because Morocco has somehow been able to score in all their games at least 2 goals. As I said, at least 2 goals. So we can't afford to make that mistake. Yes, we also can score 2, 3, 4 goals, but we have to be careful. And that style of scoring 2 goals in the first half and making it 3, and then you relax a little bit and they start to put you under pressure, you do not want to do that with this Moroccan side. You don't want to do that with the Atlas Lions of Morocco. So they have to be extremely careful. Extremely careful. And I'm sure that in their training session, Eric Schell would have, put that into 1 or 2 things they are going to train about, ensuring that they keep Brahim Diaz at bay. They're able to also keep El Kabi, Ashraf Hakimi from going forward. Yeah, they have to be able to manage this game and manage it properly. Another thing I will also say is the fact that I don't want the Super Eagles to what's the word now? Because yes, I get that they are going to be playing against the host nation, and the stadium is going to literally be filled to the brim with about maybe 70 to 80% of Morocco fans. Don't get intimidated. Do not get intimidated, because we've seen so far in this tournament how fans turn up for Morocco. Like every team that has played them, that was so evident in their last game against Cameroon, how Cameroon was really struggling to, even though I felt like they had the chances and they just weren't clinical, but you could tell that the fans were really loud supporting Morocco. The Super Eagles should not be threatened by that. They should not be pushed down with that, because definitely that is what is going to happen. We saw that happen in the 2023 edition against Morocco, how the fans of Ivory Coast were the loudest in the stadium, and that somehow just played at the back of the minds of the players. And what happened? They didn't. The team we saw play really well all through the group stage, the round of 16, the quarterfinal, semi-final, and they didn't look like the same team. They did not look like the same team at all. hopefully this time around, maybe see the confidence that not just they themselves have built in themselves, but the confidence that, the fans, the supporters, both in Morocco and in Nigeria, have, showered them with all the confidence that they need. And I want to believe that the coach Eric Schell has really drummed it in their ears that don't be intimidated. Don't let whatever it is that you're seeing happening in the stadium, because definitely I think one or two fans have been reading on social media as to how it has been really difficult for them to get tickets. So obviously you can tell that the Moroccan fans are buying out the tickets. They want to be in the stadium. They want to support the Atlant Lions. They want to ensure that their voice is the loudest. Even the game against Algeria, you could tell that the number of supporters that Nigeria had were really, really, really small. Really, really small. So I just hope that these players have built that confidence to the point where they know that regardless of what the stadium is saying, what the fans in the stadium are saying, the Super Eagles supporters are going to be there to support them. The supporters back home are rooting for them, and yes, they go into that game with their head up high. Don't be intimidated, because we've seen it a lot with the host nations just, being out there and just putting it in the faces of the opponents, and obviously the players get scared or they don't play to the usual performance you will see them play, maybe when they are not facing obviously the host nation. So I hope that they built some level of confidence, and yes, they can step into that stadium and play the best football that even better than what we've seen them do in the past few matches. Hopefully they're able to do that. I just hope so. Anyways, I as a supporter, a huge supporter of the Super Eagles, will be definitely rooting and supporting them here. I will be supporting them because I trust my boys. I know what they can do. I know what they are capable of doing. I've seen them do it, and I know they can do it again. This is for you, the other fans that will get the opportunity to watch them, and not just even watch them in the stadium, but also watch them on TV. Support them. Let them know that people are supporting them out there. Let them know that yes, people are rooting for them. And I can even see a lot of encouraging words going out to the players. The whole situation that happened with Osimhen and Ademola Lookman, we saw how beautiful the relationship was in that game against Algeria, how they celebrated with each other, even when it wasn't Osimhen that scored, it was Akko Adams, and they jumped on each other, and that just shows the connection between them, and that is what we want to see on that field tomorrow. We want to see that synergy, we want to see that brotherliness, we want to see that love, we want to see that togetherness on the field. Not one person blaming the other, not one person arguing against the other. The mindset has to be that, you know what, we have come here to face a whole nation, which is obviously Morocco, and we are going to be heading to the finals. The goal is to win the title, and nothing, absolutely nothing is going to stop them. So if you're a fan, be there to support them. Let your voice be the loudest. Let even the Moroccan fans know that yes, there are people in that stadium and they are screaming to the heavens. Anyways, guys, that's my thought on the game, and share your thoughts on what you think the result will be on. Man, hey God, well, the Lord is our strength. I know we are able to do it. As I said, I believe and I trust my players. I know they can get it done. Share in the comment section if you feel the same. Also put there your prediction, what the result will be. Do you think the Super Eagles will get the job done, or you think the Atlant Lions of Morocco will be the team that will go all the way to the final? Anyways, also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe please ensure to subscribe to the channel so you can get our latest video when they drop, which means you have to put on your post notification button so you get them as they drop. Also, ensure to follow us on all our social media platforms at _official FSH. Anyways, until the games are played, because I think there's another semi-final between Ivory Coast and Senegal and Egypt. Yeah, that will also be happening tomorrow, so you can also look out for that. But yeah, until the games are played and the results are in, fingers crossed, I will be here to see the Super Eagles get to the final and probably win the tournament. Anyways, guys, bye bye.